In one of the most intense escalations in recent weeks, the Israeli military has launched a large-scale ground operation in Gaza, pushing deeper into the north and south of the enclave. The offensive on Sunday left at least 151 Palestinians dead, according to Gaza health officials reported by Al Jazeera, as fighting intensifies despite the renewed international mediation efforts. Israeli forces have surrounded the Indonesian Hospital in northern Gaza, which is one of the last partially functioning medical facilities in the area, forcing it shut down and trapping around 55 people inside, including medical staff and patients. Adding to the strain, Israel issued fresh evacuation orders for areas in central Gaza, including Al-Qarara and Deir Bala, following rocket fire from Hamas fighters into Israeli territory. The Israeli Defense Forces cited this as justification for launching the latest ground assault in those zones. Meanwhile, tensions are rippling beyond Gaza's borders. Yemen's Houthi rebels have vowed to continue targeting Israel's Ben Gurion airport and other key infrastructure in retaliation for what they describe as Israeli escalation in both Gaza and Yemen. On the humanitarian front, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's office announced that Israel would permit a basic amount of aid to enter Gaza. However, it remains unclear when or how that aid will reach civilians caught in the crossfire as conditions worsen on the ground. Ceasefire negotiations are underway in Qatar's Doha, where indirect talks between Israel and Hamas began over the weekend. Senior Hamas official Tahir al-Lunu confirmed that the group entered the talks without preconditions, according to Hamas-run Al-Aqsa TV. But optimism is tempered. Israel has said it is open to ending the war if Hamas surrenders. Hamas in turn has stated it will release all Israeli hostages only if there are guarantees of a permanent end to hostilities, which is a condition Israel is unlikely to accept. As the violation escalates, international voices are growing louder. United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres reiterated his call for a two-state solution and denounced both the 7th of October Hamas attacks and Israel's continued bombardment of Gaza. In a series of posts on social media platform X, he said nothing justifies the collective punishment of the Palestinian people. He called for a permanent ceasefire, the unconditional release of hostages, and unrestricted humanitarian aid. Guterres also criticized Israel's actions in the occupied West Bank, saying annexation is illegal, settlements are illegal, and urged the global community not to overlook the dire situation there. Meanwhile, worldwide protests are swelling. Over 100,000 demonstrators in red gathered in Netherlands' The Hague, demanding an end to Dutch support for Israel. At the Rafah border crossing, Italian and other European lawmakers staged demonstrations calling urgently for an end to the war and unrestricted humanitarian access to Gaza. As both military operations and diplomatic efforts continue, the humanitarian crisis in Gaza remains severe with little relief in sight.